Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Zooming in on the topic of the narcissist, essentially as an antagonist. And we're going to go into a little bit about this and how this personality type can oftentimes be very antagonistic or really serve as an opponent to a lot of people. Either in a professional setting, a familial setting, and really it becomes more of a core identity that is often experienced not only by the narcissists themselves, but also by those people who are in their environment, who essentially then become victimized, targeted as a source of supply for this antagonist, and essentially can create a very difficult and painful emotional spiral. So I'd like to zoom in on that, and I do want to give a quick shout out. I've received a number of correspondences, messages to my inbox, email as well, that there are people who are seeking essentially a individual consultation, and I am now going to be making this available in a couple of options for people. And I posted these up here on YouTube. However, if you really feel like you want to reach out and talk to someone who can be a listening ear to you, offer some guidance, suggestions, I'm happy to serve in that role for you. Oftentimes, it can be most healing to speak to someone who actually gets where you're coming from. And this is not meant to substitute for, professional health care, etc. But it can be a good resource, basically, as a supplement to that. So you can definitely go through your healthcare provider for certain services. However, if you really feel like you want someone to speak to, either through a video, email, or phone consultation, who really gets it outside of your healthcare provider, I'm happy to do that. And you can utilize my email address to get a hold of me, and we can schedule, an email consultation where, if you prefer email, I can write back to you, some suggestions and provide you guidance with a specific situation you're handling. I'm also happy to do a video in discussion and outlining some specifics that are completely anonymous to you, and we can review some strategies to help you cope, and then we can keep that posted and available to you. I also have one-on-one consulting sessions available to you via phone. So please contact me if you are in need and would desire help and assistance. I'm more than happy to provide that for you. So I want to zoom here in on the topic of the antagonist. Now, antagonist, we might recall it from the Greek plays. We might have studied it in high school. The antagonist is an opponent. Antagonist comes from the Greek word antagonistai, which is to contend against. A-N-T basically is a prefix, which is going to come in front of a lot of words meaning against. Antibody, antibiotic, antithesis, meaning against. So oftentimes when the narcissist has really secured someone in a relationship, either by family, by love relationships, in collegiate relationships, or at your work as an associate, the narcissist can very oftentimes be really in opposition to people. So as people get more involved, more in depth with relationships, they find that they're really combative, and this is stemming from really the narcissist's self-interest, excessive self-absorption, and lack of empathy. So oftentimes, not only are they serving as a detriment to you, they're causing harm and destruction, and this can result in a lot of very painful discussions, fights, combative situations where they're an antagonist to you in your life. And what really happens is that the narcissist can then start to essentially it can be a lifelong antagonist. So, bringing up constant adversity into your life. Constantly feeling like you are on trial with them. It's almost like you are relentlessly guilty. You're relentlessly controlled through fear, relentlessly controlled through obligation, and relentlessly controlled through guilt. So it's almost like you're constantly being on trial, or almost like with a jury when you're in a completely antagonistic relationship to them. And that's not always how the relationship begins. There might be an original, honeymoon where the relationship is very pleasant or very sweet. Yet as one enters into and really progresses, they encounter the true colors of the narcissist, which can be very antagonistic. And it can be very difficult to really get out of it. A lot of people describe it as one way or as a trap. So, the key is to definitely not become in a dependency situation with them, because the narcissist will oftentimes encourage and promote a dependency relationship with their supply, which means, in other words, you are essentially, locked in to a sort of, supply or subservient relationship to them, which in essence they exploit, which means they're using to their advantage and your disadvantage, where they exploit the nature of this relationship. In other words, boss, employee, parent-child, spouse, cohabitation. Those sort of almost, relationships become emblazoned with dependency, and almost like the supply is really essentially, painted into a corner, if you will. And essentially a lot of people experience this feeling as being trapped and not knowing what to do and how to get out. I absolutely understand that. So, please do contact me if you really do need help with your individual situation, because, together we can figure out a solution, and applying the knowledge to help you really experience some freedom and relief from that. That's the whole goal of this channel. Please do share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support. And we'll work on tools, really, that we have enlisted a number of them here on this channel to help you become liberated from this sort of toxic relationship.